What is up, y'all? It's your girl, brand new, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back to talk to you all about couples retreat. So without further ado, honey, let's get off into it. So I'm not, you guys, gonna talk about like every little thing they did in these episodes. I'm going to just tell you all what I see in their relationships, right? I really love this show. I was binge watching this show for a couple of days, honey, and I'm like, I need to review this. First, shout out to Miss AJ Johnson. I love her. She played Sheree in House Party. I was a fan then. I just love her charming, charismatic spirit. Like, she sings very spiritual as well. She works with a lot of celebrities on their mind, their body, and their soul. Okay. I have so much admiration for AJ. They also have the YouTuber Tony Gaskins on here for the men, and I feel like that's good, you know, because the men, they need somebody to talk to as well. So first off, guys, let's start out with Fallon and Jalen and what I noticed. So first off, Fallon is codependent. I really came to that assessment when AJ told her and Jaylin, you know, they need some time apart to heal. I feel like she never properly healed from her divorce from Simon. She didn't properly heal, and neither did Simon. Simon was still married and went and got engaged to Portia. And I know some of you all will say, well, they're married now. And okay, that's now. And I am a big believer, honey, in how you get them is how you lose them. Fallon says that she felt very betrayed by Portia. Whereas when we hear Portia speak of Fallon, she say, you know, I didn't know that girl like that. We wasn't friends, but Portia, girl, you was hanging out with Simon and Fallon. Fallon said you would always call to see where they was at. So you was clout chasing. You was peeping, you know, how that man was treating her, right? From a financial standpoint, and you wanted in. Your homegirl Shamia, what? She got her African. You wanted you one. Where is Simon from? Nigeria? Child, close enough, honey. You know, like, you wanted in to the lifestyle. I see that clip of Portia swimming, honey, in Fallon's pool and, you know, getting introduced to Simon. And then she said on Ultimate Girls Trip, you know, I actually been knowing him for some years, and girl. And then it was just weird when she said she called him to see how he was doing. Like, why didn't that loyalty go to Fallon when they broke up? Then when Portia talked about the whole Fallon and Jalen situation on the Ultimate Girls Trip, she mentioned how his ex-wife got pregnant by her assistant. And basically, Portia said that on the Ultimate Girls Trip to distract away from her bad behavior. Okay, which is hooking up with this lady's husband after they done broke up. That was foul. And Portia knows it. Trust me, she knows it. Fallon said Simon filed for divorce twice and wasn't coming home at night. He was cheating. Allegedly, we'll say. But, honey, that's what that is. So, like, for him, I told you all that he flipped the script, okay? And he put everything off on Fallon. He had been unfaithful to that girl. Don't nobody hook up with their best friend and all like that. And no. I can tell by looking at Fallon and Jalen on this show, Simon initiated everything. Initiated the divorce, she said twice. Wasn't coming home. And nigga, now you shocked that she hooking up with the pool boy? Okay, this is how you get cheated on, by not bringing your ass home at night, Simon. Okay, what the hell wrong with you? Okay, so I don't feel sorry, I told y'all, for Simon at all. I believe he was emotionally abusing Fallon, and in my opinion, whatever he did to Fallon, he will do in the future to Portia. Portia is damaged goods. Portia has low self-esteem. I don't care how much money she has or how many followers she has on Instagram. Okay, low self-esteem. Couldn't even wait for the man to be divorced. Already trying to, get engaged. And yeah, it's fast, but we just fell in love. Don't nobody just fall in love like that. That's not love. That's lust. Okay? And like I said, I believe that Simon was already messing with, other women. Remember, it was some women coming out too at the time. I also picked up on the fact of how young Jaylin is. Early 20s, responsible for Fallon, her 3 kids, plus the one she got with Jaylin, plus I guess he taking care of her sister. What are you doing? What are you doing for work? I don't believe he really mentioned that. I believe Fallon got with Jaylin because she felt lonely. And I think she got with Jaylin because Jaylin represents safety. He's safe. He doesn't have money like how I do, and I can control him. I can see it, you guys. Okay, there are women that will get with men that don't have the money that they have. That way, they can control, there's that word, that person. We saw Fallon trying to control Jaylin on this show by telling him he can't go out and hang with the other castmates. And I really picked up on her codependency, because it's girl, why you just can't do stuff by yourself? But she really has a fear of being alone, and that's probably why she has all these kids. Same with Kiki Wyatt. Ain't no damn, they just love kids, they just love sex. Ain't that much sex in the world. There's something else going on. Okay? Fallon says Jaylin has popped the question. Okay, so he has asked for her hand in marriage, but he is very slow with getting to the altar. Long story short, Fallon, he don't want to marry you. He doesn't want to marry you. Did y'all see the episode where it was all in his body language and the lady was reading his body language? And it's in his actions. He wants to get away from you. He wants an identity outside of you. He doesn't want to just be your pool boy. Okay? And what is Fallon? A Taurus? Yeah. Look at Candy Burris over there with Todd. I mean, I'm just saying. Yes, we know Todd got his own money, but we also know Candy. And Tauruses, I've dealt with one. They're very big on having the upper hand in a relationship with you. They're all about security. Okay? But you could pick up on Fallon's insecurity when it comes to Jaylin and him wanting to hang out with other people. And then she had sent him a text about them breaking up because he wanted to hang out with the castmates. Now, mind you, he was told by AJ, and she was told, I believe, by AJ, that they need time apart. Okay, and Fallon still, don't know how to do that. I felt like Breezy gave Fallon some really good advice. I believe she said to her, "You want to be married for all the wrong reasons." And it was so true, you guys. You want to be married for all the wrong reasons. Just because you have all these kids and now you want to, dump them on somebody else? Love doesn't work like that. You have to get to know the person. They have to want to commit to you. I feel like she had this baby with Jaylin to further lock him in. Okay, it's a mess. It's a mess. We have Chris and Breezy. I really like Breezy. Very entertaining. What was she on? Empire. She's a controller in her relationship with Chris. She's very overprotective of Chris. And it was a red flag when AJ mentioned seeing Breezy with a cigarette, and she, felt the need to bring that up to Chris. Like, how do you feel about her smoking? And Chris kept making all these excuses about why Breezy smokes, and, well, she has recently cut back. And AJ is like, well, how do you feel? Okay, how does that make you feel? And you also you saw Chris being very hesitant to answer that she apologized to Breezy, and Breezy was like, well, I'm not mad at, what you ended up saying, and all of that is a red flag. Like, do you have your own brain? Okay, like, you have to be your own person in your relationship and speak up and say, it bothers me that my mate smokes. And I feel sad about it. I feel sad that they won't quit. You have to be expressive. What I get from Chris is she's the type of person that sweeps things under the rug with Breezy. And I love how AJ called the unhealthy dynamics of their relationship out. And I don't think Breezy, really liked or appreciated that. But, AJ was like, oh, well, I'm looking for the cracks. There also was a scene, I guess they had did some type of exercise. And Chris ended up snapping on AJ a bit and saying, well, I didn't like how you, kept trying to get more and more out of me, when it came to, addressing Breezy and her smoking. And I'm like, she had to do that because you refused to have an opinion. So what else was AJ to do? Okay, so the rest of the cast, I think it was particularly Ronnie and Shamari, they mentioned that they now see that Chris is finding her voice. Because, it just kind of looked like Breezy is running the show, right? We see relationships like that all the time. So that's kind of what I'm getting from them. It seemed like Chris is walking on eggshells in terms of when it comes to Breezy. It seemed like she don't want to piss her off, and she don't want to set her off. So that's what I noticed with them. Now, next we have Ronnie and we have Shamari. They have been together for over 20 plus years. They have had trust issues in the past. I guess this is their second time being on this show. I did not watch last season. I am, though, going to, catch up on it. But from what I get from Ronnie and Shamari is Ronnie is running the show and has been running the show as it pertains to him and Shamari's marriage for over 20 plus years. He's the king. Shamari basically acquiesces and does what Ronnie wants her to do. It seems like she has more of a voice now. So it's like she's speaking up to him more. I noticed they both kept talking about active listening. Ronnie doesn't like Shamari speaking up. Like, it seemed like he liked her better when she was willing to be his puppet. And it's weird for me to talk about Ronnie and Shamari in this way because I used to love me some Ronnie and Shamari. I love that song they got. What is it? Love Come Through? I forgot the name of it, but I love that song. But yeah, a lot of people feel like Ronnie and Shamari have ran their course. Shamari says she's sick and tired of being at home with the kids. And, Ronnie is out providing for the family. He's on tour. What is he, a New Edition? And in Belle Biv DeVoe. So he's, probably out performing all the time. But my whole thing with Shamari is, girl, you have to take charge of your life. You have to spend that man's money, hire a nanny, and then you get in the studio with Black and, create some more music. You go on tour. Like, you got to make stuff happen for yourself. And I feel like she's like always allowing Ronnie to be the star of their marriage, and she's not shining, but she blames it on him when I feel like, yeah, he plays a part. Because don't get me wrong, honey, Mr. Ronnie DeVoe, honey, is controlling. I could just see it, honey, okay? What did he say to Candy on Housewives? That was so funny. Y'all remember when he was critiquing Escape, honey? And, honey, they need to be critiqued. Okay, quiet as kept. But I can't fully feel sorry for Shamari is what I'm saying, you guys. Because I just feel like you need to seek independence, Shamari, outside of Ronnie. And it feels like you're like waiting to hear from him that it's okay for you to do that. And I just feel like, you are doing yourself a disservice on, waiting on him to direct y'all life. You got to get out here and make stuff happen for you. Okay, so next we have Apollo and Sheree. Sheree seems desperate to be with Apollo. She slept in her car to visit Apollo, desperate. Okay, she claimed she was his friend. What? While he was married to Phaedra? That's, girl, you weren't trying to be that man's friend. You was trying to hold something. Okay, she wanted to hold Apollo, honey, but he was in prison. Okay, locked up. They won't let him out. Okay. Shireen put her life on hold for him. We hear, Apollo saying all these things in the confessional. To me, it's unhealthy. It shows a lack of self-esteem. Okay. Yeah, he wasn't even divorced from Phaedra. And because y'all remember, Phaedra was like, well, he got him a girlfriend. What was that, season 7? When, all this stuff played out? No, I think it was season 6 where a lot of this played out, where he could be arrested. And then I think season 7 is when he got sentenced, right? But yeah, that was sketchy. You don't be no man's friend while, what? He's married, okay? He's married. He done got in trouble with the law. This is his second time getting in trouble with the law. He done did one bit. And Sheree was like, yeah, but everybody turned their back on him. Shit, they were supposed to. Okay, this nigga don't know how to stay out of prison. I was just like clutching my pearls, honey, when she said that. I said, if you don't get off my screen, honey, with this foolishness. Okay, but yeah, Sheree is sketchy. Something about her I don't trust. I like Apollo. I do. Hopefully Apollo has grown from like all this criminal behavior, because to me it was always stupid that he got locked up for a second time and Phaedra damn near created a job for you. You know, like with her, you know, working with the dead people and stuff. Like you could have, you know, helped her with that business. But child, Apollo, honey, he always tried to take the easy way out, honey, okay? I like how Apollo talked to Fat Boy about, you know, his relationship, his marriage to Tiana. Basically, that's how he has been cheating. Like, he met Tiana through the DM, and that's how he meets his other girls to cheat with. So I love the conversation that Apollo and him had. Like, dude, you have to see the parallel between those two things. That's how you met her, and that's how you're cheating now. That's why, you know, she's so insecure about the people that may message your phone. So I like that. I like when this cast, when they like interact with each other. I am here for it. I love the advice that Jock gave Fallon. I also loved how the body language expert like read Apollo, and how, you know, she could read and see through his body language to see how he always wants to, you know, be in control as it pertains to his marriage to Sheree. Sheree feels like Apollo is a micromanager. Girl, you got with a nigga that was in prison. So, like, I know you ain't on here complaining, girl. Okay? But I guess I do see some growth with Apollo. I wish, you know, him and Sheree the best, honey, okay? Because they are going to need it. Next, we got Jock and Kendra. Jock has cheated on her. Kendra, girl, I can't feel sorry for you because you knew that this man was a serial cheater. Okay? Wasn't Jock that one that was with that girl, Kay? I forgot her name. She was light-skinned, and she fought Carly over Jock, I believe, because y'all remember Carly and Jock used to date. Like, he didn't cheated on all them women, Kendra. Like, why are you with him? But Kendra, I see, is you know, she likes to portray herself as the perpetual victim. You know, she's an attorney. Jock said he kind of don't like that because that kind of get in the way of their marriage. You know, she thinks she better and thinks she know everything. Kendra keeps reminding Jock that he cheated, which means she's going to stay with him, but continue to punish him. And that's something that the body language expert talked to her about, and so did AJ. And Kendra, girl, you can't keep threatening to leave but never go anywhere. I feel like that's a big mistake. Empty threats won't change a man. They really won't. And at this point, we already saw it on the show where Jock felt exhausted, you know, when he was hearing Kendra talk. You know, it's like she says the same things over and over again, and, you know, he's over it. You're either gonna forgive me or, you know, we both need to move on. And I agree with that. But Kendra, girl, don't nobody feel sorry for you because you saw, like how he cheated, with other women. Jock is a womanizer. Don't get me wrong, you guys. Jock looked like he cool as hell to play some dice with, he cool as hell to invite to the family barbecue, but I just don't see why anybody would marry this man, okay? And you got Fat Man and Tiana. He has cheated on her multiple times, twice while she was pregnant. Girl, why are you still there? Okay, not why you pregnant, okay? But Fat Boy had a breakthrough with Tony Gaskins, because Tony got to telling him how he used to be a cheater and a womanizer as well, and he was able to see through Fat Boy's persona, and he said, you real insecure, and I could tell that you've been abandoned. And Fat Boy began saying, I was abandoned, and like, I really love people. I go hard for people. I've gave so much to people, and I've had people backstab me. So him cheating on Tiana, I guess, is some type of defense mechanism that keeps him from being hurt. They had him like tilt his head in one of the exercises, and he began like talking, more vulnerable to her. And she could like feel his emotion, because normally when he's talking to her, he's looking away, like he's showing signs of being deceptive. So they was telling him to maintain, eye contact with her, tilt your head, embrace her more. He told her he loved her. She said she loved him. They're going to try to make their marriage work. Wouldn't be me, because like that cheating, that shit is not normal. It is emotional abuse. And if you stay with a man that cheats on you, it is going to chip away at your self-esteem. You will become a shell of yourself, okay? So, I wish them the best, but honey, it couldn't be Miss Robinson. Okay. And really quickly, it's just very interesting that Kendra will not have any children with Jock. She feels like he has created several broken homes, and he has, but why would you marry him? Like the way Shamari was looking at her, honey, like I was looking at her too, like, girl, you are sacrificing yourself, your wants and your needs to be with this man. There's some self-esteem issues going on. Jaylin had like a breakthrough. All I remember was he was like crying about his mother being abused, I think when he was a kid, and there was nothing he could do for her. Like he felt really helpless, and he just ended up like crying, and it was beautiful to see him like get all of that out, Another thing with Fallon and Jalen that AJ noticed is there is a huge disconnect in terms of their energy together. Like she felt like there were times, I guess, during filming and during certain exercises, like Fallon wasn't supportive emotionally of Jaylin. Fallon mentioned that she doesn't trust men, and I felt like, wow, that was huge. She had been molested as a teenager. But it's just really weird that there's a disconnect with her and Jaylin, but yet y'all used to screw like jackrabbits, and y'all done made this baby. Like Fallon, you guys, she's a beautiful woman. but she is hustling backwards. She really needs to learn how to be by herself. That way she can attract a better relationship. Like, girl, you got money, you know, like you got all these kids, but you got enough means to take care of them. I guess she's like a Savage Fenty model. And, you know, I heard that, honey, Fallon got money. Okay. She got a lot of good investments. Okay. So she ain't hurting for no money. But yeah, Fallon needs to learn how to love herself and stop trying to get that love from a man. Because until you love yourself, nobody can ever love you enough, right? And I just feel like it was very irresponsible to create all these children and then even to have this last one with Jaylin, and there's such a disconnect. You need to be disconnecting the sex, Fallon. Like, you need to, but see, that's a Taurus thing, honey. Y'all love screwing. Okay, Taurus love to eat good. They love to screw good. You know, they really love, you know, living life, right? And that's cool. But at the same time, I just feel like Fallon should abstain from sex. Like, you have the kids, you got the t-shirt, basically, that lets us all know, honey, you love to screw, you love to get it in, but sex is not just physical. And I feel like for there to be such a huge disconnect with you and Jaylin from a emotional standpoint and a spiritual standpoint, it's just like, y'all don't need to be having sex. You need to be abstaining. And matter of fact, they done broke up. And that was Fallon's biggest fear. But girl, that's probably the best thing that could happen to you. You need to learn how to be a single mother to your 4 children. You and Jaylin can co-parent your daughter. But you need to learn to be on your own. Because her codependency issues, you guys, it has resulted in her having all these children by all these different men. Even Breezy was trying to tell her, you know, getting married isn't going to change your life. You know, having all this sex, making all these kids, that's not going to keep a man. You know, your life has showed you that over and over. I was like, come on, Breezy. Okay, but she was speaking a word. Breezy also called Apollo out for being controlling with Sheree, not letting her, you know, make her own decisions. They squashed all of that. So I love, you know, like all the conflict resolution that the cast partake of in, honey. I love it. This is a really good show. All right, you guys, that's all I have to say about all of that, honey. I will be back for episode 5. So we'll do a full, you know, recap on that. But I just basically, you know, in this video, just wanted to talk about, you know, what I noticed on the show as far as these couples, you know, and their marriages / relationships, okay? So don't forget, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, brand new, and I will check you guys out in the next video.